Hello, excuse me, Charlie Tango 1 here. This is just an informative one really, it's nothing special. I just thought I'd explain these slip collar and leads a little bit more in detail, so that, where's my glasses, bear with me, oh there, so that some of you can understand really the principle of it. Oh, I can't see a thing with them on. Right, now when I to use the leads that I use is it's a Latigo leather, which means it's impregnated with oil. They only come in 4-foot lengths, unfortunately. So they did have some with patterns on, which I started off with, but the trouble is the pattern is only 4 foot, so you might have a little bit of extra leather on the hide, but it's got no pattern on. So I thought, well, I'll just go for a plain hide, it's going to look a lot better, which it does. So I just sent 2 or 3 orders out yesterday. Where is it? Leicester, 1 to Canada, he's got a small cocker, and another 2 up north somewhere. But I do supply 2 or 3 of these to my friend Chris Upton down in Cornwall. Oh, excuse me, I've got something in my eye. He, because he has people there he teaches training, he's been training gun dogs and breeding gun dogs for over 35 years. Now, I think that man knows what he's talking about. Otherwise he'd have given up for long for now. Now, the leads I use are 3/4 of an inch wide. This is for a standard Springer, even a Labrador, or you can get standard cockers, unusual, but I've got one. So I treat him as a spaniel. Now that's the lead I use, the leather I use, which is 3/4 of an inch wide. And this is the other one. Let's just get that. That's, as you can see, a little bit thinner, and is a little bit thinner, but it does help on small cockers, because when you've got that spread over 8 or 9 feet, it starts to be dragging a bit. So that's why I do that for small cockers. Now I have mentioned it, but you'll be surprised how many people actually do train on concrete. Now, all they do is they come back to me, Ray, my clips come off my lead. Oh, well, how's that happen? When you look at the swivel on it, on the collar, you see it's all scratched and buggery, so's the clip on the lead. And what they've done is they've just let you rub the stitching off. Alright, it is glued, and it's a strong glue, and stitched, but it's not designed to train dogs on concrete. It ain't going to last 5 minutes. I've said this before. So please just use it on the grass, and it should last you a good innings. Now the standard, I just had me cataracts done here, so I give him a bit of stick. The standard collar I use is, I'll get you it, here it is, here is round belting leather. Alright, this is what I use. Show you so you can see it on the end. It's solid belting leather. Now for the little cockers, what I cut off, it's not, bear with me a moment and I'll get there for you. Sorry about that, it's just a little hiccup there. Right, I was on this round belting leather. Yeah, I use that stuff. Now I did, let me pull that round just a tad. I did watch a video on YouTube. It's a young lady, I believe, making a round leather collar. She was covering it in red leather. Well, when I looked at the way she was doing it from start to finish, she was using like a thick string, and To my belief, it's you know, I think there's about 2, maybe 3 stitches in there once you put the ring on, to hold the ring on, and then it was just covered up with, I don't know, something similar to this shrink rubber stuff, so you can't see. Well, a good yank and crank, that's it, it just snapped like that, like so. You can get them on eBay and on Amazon, but I try and deter people from doing that because I've seen how they're made. In my personal opinion, they're cheap and nasty. Bodge it and leg it comes to mind. You know, I mean, if you're going to do something, if a job's worth doing, it's worth doing well. Do it properly. Don't skip corners and then blag your way through it and have people over. That's not very nice, that. And as I think people know, I'm an honest person. A spade's a spade. What you see is what you get. Right, so not harping on that. I do rabbit on, you know this, you know. Collar. Now this, the small cocker collar, my size, that's what I was going to go on to. Excuse me, I've got something in my eye again. My size is 32 inches before it being prepped. Now at times it's prepped, you've got 6 inches one end, 6 inches the other. I turn 3 inches over either way. It's stitched through, and you might ask, how do you do that on round leather? and I ain't got a proper machine for it. I've had to make my own piping foot because my machine suppliers or manufacturers don't make one. Anyway, so that's by the by. They're 32 inches long. Fold it over 3 inches either end, stitch that through, then fold the leather into it. Once I put the rings and the swivel on, and then I stitch it. The standard collar is what I try for springers, or if you've got a cocker that's about a springer size, that's 34 inches long. But this is why I ask what dog you've got. If it's a Labrador, well, they're 38 inches. Yeah, just checking. 38 inches long, because a lot taller, obviously, a fatter neck, about 16 inch, something like that. So the idea is you get the swivel just to hang nearly touching the ground, so it gets the desired effect to the dog. And me and Chris Upton we've looked at this and watched them and thought, yeah, that's the length we want. So then I've added my bits on for folding over and what have you, blah blah blah. Right, now this is the standard one. I'm just waiting for some metalwork to turn up this morning. Actually, I've got to go down and get some more of this leather. I've literally gone through a full hide. Oh, it's been absolutely hectic, like, you know. But it's good, isn't it? It's good. At least I know that it's not a wasted product. It's being used, and people are still interested in it. And I've been sending these all over the world now. It's only through word of mouth. I've got no website. You know, you'll find me on YouTube. And at the beginning, at the top, I always leave my phone number so that people can get hold of me. Well, I do now, but sometimes I've been ringing Chris to find out my number to contact me. But I thought, well, what I'll do is each time I put a video up, I'll put my phone number up. But I don't put that many videos up, that's the trouble, so I've had to go back on videos and add it. Now, this is the standard one. Where are we? There we go. It's got the stop on as well. Now we know what the stop's for, don't we? So it can be slid down to the other end if it wants, down here. Put it on the dog's head, close it back up, not tight but enough so that it don't slip off the dog's head. Then pull this stop up to the ring. A lot of people ain't doing that, and then there's a reason for it. That's why it's on there. They've lost their collar and lead. Oh, well, how have you done that? Oh no, he just, I've been training him, and when I come back he ain't got the lead on. I said, well, did you put the stop up to the ring so that when he goes down to hunt, when he's on a scent, or on the line, the head goes down, the collar falls off. It's not rocket science, that's why that's there. Well, if you don't use it, I'm sorry to say it's your own fault, and it's going to cost you again if you want another leading collar. You know, although if I get something like a breakage, something like that, I've only had one, and I told him, oh, I'm not having that, send it straight back, and I replaced it. It was no problem at all, I replaced it. If I can't repair it and make a good strong repair, I just replace it. It's not worth messing about with. Start again. So that's what I do. Now, on the leads, I did used to use a trigger clip. I don't use them no more because I had a friend there that purchased one off me. All this is ages ago. And he says, Ray, I've just done a short video here. Have a look at this and see what you think. So I looked at it, and let me just get you a trigger clip. Right, here's a trigger clip. Okay, swivels it, and it swivels. The eye is 3/4 of an inch, the same as these are, 3/4 of an inch. Well, that one is for the standard, and then you've got the little for the small cocker, and that's what they are. Just a spring lunging clip. Now somehow when he had this on the collar, he stood there and he just turned it somehow like that, and the collar come out of there. I thought, oh, that's a bit naughty, you know, especially if the dog's working near a road. And I always try to keep away from the roads, you know, because they're so headstrong when they're hunting, they forget the dangers. So I now use that fixed lunge clip. That's what I use now, and success, it hasn't come out. I will put a swivel on there if you want one, if requested, but be it on your own head. I think it's better to be safe than sorry, so I've changed it over to that. I've got 2 or 3 trigger clips, so it's not a problem if that's what you want. So going on to that, I do treat it with some preservative for a while. Now this one here, see, this, I mean, perfectly nothing wrong with it, but the only thing I didn't like about it was that. Look at that. Let's put it up close. That's when I got a batch of about 6 of them, 6 or 8. So, oh, excuse me, still got something in me here. I rang them out. I went, is your storeman, sorry to say, a little bit thick or what? I said, he sent me some of these swivels and it's got a nut and bolt on to keep them together. Oh, alright. And basically what it is, they do use a nut and bolt, but to finish it, they round off all the edges and everything, and you've got a nice round bolt there. If you look at it, it looks a damn sight better than a nut and bolt, doesn't it? Although it is a nut and bolt, all the edging's been taken off with a nut and bolt, and it looks like a nice big strong pin. I would like it if they could make them out of stainless steel, because when that's swivelling, that's permanently swivelling there like that. When you're working it, something's got to give, something's going to wear, and 9 out of 10 it's the hole in that swivel. It's going to wear and they separate, you know. Touch wood. I've only had one, but by God, it had a lot of work done to it. You know, I mean, it had been worked for a long time. When I first started, actually, that's got to be what, 5 years ago. So he had a good innings out of it. All I'd done was I managed to unpick the stitching, replace the swivel, restitch it. Bob's your uncle, Fanny's right, and I sent it back off to him. He's over the moon with it, you know. So, and he ain't come back to me since. I was saying, oh, that's a lot better. I don't think there's anything else I need to cover on that, because I haven't done a video for a long time. So I thought I'd do one, and then you see it. As I say, at the top there'll be my phone number. I've got to get in the habit of doing that. But We're into shooting season now. I had my first, took my boy out on the first shoot day, 26th Saturday, and I was over the moon with him. I mean, he was bringing these birds in left, right and centre, like, you know, and talk about steady, and I didn't get a video of it. Talk about steady, I was sitting on this tree that had gone over, and it's only a small tree, you know, something like that, you know, but I was sitting on that and he was sitting between my knees. I was behind the guns, good, what, 30, 40 yards or more, and lo and behold, I just looked to my right because I see my dog's head move. I looked to my right and there's a cock pheasant walking past us, brazen as you like, didn't even know I was there, I don't think, about 15 feet away, 15 feet, and he still kept it. I thought, well, I put my arm up like that, see if he moved. He didn't panic, he just slowly carried on walking, you know, who are you, like, and oh, fair play to my dog, he was as steady as a rock, like, all I said was, leave that, and he just sat there and watched it. Now that's temptation for you, isn't it? 15 feet away, and he didn't run in on it, so well, he knows what he'd get if he did. Anyway, I'm not going to have it on anymore. I think there's a little rent in there as well somewhere, wasn't there? Something like that, if I recall. So you just got to go down and get some more leather now. I'm right out. So I try to avoid sending stuff away Thursday, Friday. It just sits in the sorting office up in the Medway towns. And there was something I did have go missing. I've repeated this on nearly on every video. Anyway, it was tracked and all, and I never found it. I thought, well, what's the point of tracking it? It's your responsibility. I've tracked it. You are responsible for that parcel. You know, and all they could do was just reimburse me. But I'd rather have the parcel found and sent to the person that's purchased it, rather than just keep getting compensation. You know, it just tells me that your service is absolute rubbish. No, I'm ranting again, and I'll catch you on the next one. Cheerio.